let's play a little game of how much does the Republican Party hate its own voters. So last week, the House had a glorious opportunity to send Liz Cheney, one of the Republicans who voted to impeach Trump. They had a golden opportunity to send her a stern message. Don't turn your back on the people who brought you here. And what did they do? They did what the Republicans typically do, and they did not send that message. They ran away like a bunch of cowards with their tails between their legs. This was from ABC News last week. Representative Liz Cheney of Wyoming is keeping her place in the House GOP leadership after Republicans voted 145 to 61 to keep her in the number 3 position despite her vote to impeach former President Donald Trump last month. Trump's most ardent supporters in the House waged a weeks-long campaign to oust Cheney from her post, arguing that she did not represent the GOP conference with her vote. But even her toughest critics privately acknowledged that she would retain her seat in a secret ballot vote, which gave members the opportunity to throw their support behind her anonymously, thus turning their backs on all of the people who put them there yet again. And we know this is turning their backs on the people who put them there because the Republican Party in Wyoming has now formally censured Liz Cheney for voting to impeach Donald Trump. This is from the Daily Wire from a couple days ago. Republican Wyoming Representative Liz Cheney was formally censured Saturday by the Wyoming Republican Party for her vote to impeach President Donald Trump. The state party also called for Cheney to immediately resign and says it intends to withhold all funding from her future electoral efforts in Wyoming, according to CNN. The party also reportedly called for Cheney to refund donations made to her 2020 campaign by the Wyoming GOP and its county-level parties. Now, I did a video on this probably whenever they had the original impeachment vote. Essentially what happened is the Wyoming Republican Party was pissed at Liz Cheney back when she voted to impeach Trump. And I came out and said, she's going to lose her seat. She's going to lose her seat because the Republican Party in Wyoming is basically all that matters. They are all powerful. They are omnipresent. And I laid out all the evidence for how powerful the Republican Party is in Wyoming back in that video that you can go find it, go search on the YouTubes, whatever you have to do. But I laid out all this evidence for exactly how powerful the Wyoming GOP is and how I still believe that Liz Cheney is ultimately going to lose her seat, whether or not she walks away. Joshua and I talked about this on our Tuesday night show, Nothing Remotely Controversial, last week, where he thinks that she's going to voluntarily opt out. I don't think it's going to be so voluntary. I think she is 100% going to lose her seat in a couple years when she comes up for re-election, because there ain't no Republicans in Wyoming that are going to vote for Liz Cheney after what she did. Cheney was one of only 10 Republicans in the House who voted to impeach Trump last month, and she defended her position in a statement following the censure. My vote to impeach was compelled by the oath I swore to the Constitution. Wyoming citizens know that this oath does not bend or yield to politics or partisanship. Well, now, just like a perfect SJW, Liz Cheney is doubling down because SJWs always double down. Guess what, folks? I guess there are SJWs on the right and there's just as much as there are SJWs on the left, because Liz Cheney is doing the perfect SJW move and she is now doubling down, coming out last night and saying Trump does not have a role as a leader of our party. I'm sorry, what? Excuse me? Who the hell do you think you are, Liz Cheney? Let's read. Republican Wyoming Rep. Liz Cheney said that former President Trump does not have a role as a leader of the Republican Party during a Sunday morning appearance on Fox News Sunday. Is this still the party of Donald Trump? Anchor Chris Wallace asked Cheney after pointing out that House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy had met with the former president recently and had secured a promise to help GOP candidates in 2020. Chris, we are the party of Abraham Lincoln. We are the party of Ronald Reagan, Cheney responded. We have to really take a hard look at who we are and what we stand for and what we believe in. The Wyoming Congresswoman pointed to Trump's role in inciting the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol and recent GOP loss of Senate and presidency as evidence that Trump is a person who does not have a role as a leader of our party going forward. Listen, if you guys haven't figured this out yet, they hate you. They hate you. The GOP hates you. They want nothing to do with you. They are just as much a part of the swamp as the Democrats. They are exactly the same thing. And we're going to find out what's going to happen in the impeachment trial this week. I think it's going to be really, really, really interesting. I've been hearing rumors that Mitch McConnell is going to vote to convict Trump. Now, there was actually kind of like a statement making the rounds on social media today saying Mitch McConnell came out and said, yes, he was going to vote to convict Trump in the impeachment trial. And then I kind of did some research and I couldn't really find any corroboration on it. So I don't know how true that is. But I do know that Republican representatives hate their own voters. They hate you and everything you stand for, and they just want to go back to the establishment the way it's always been. We have to make sure that we are able to convey to American voters we are the party of responsibility, we are the party of truth, that we actually can be trusted to handle the challenges of this nation like COVID, and that's what's going to require us to focus on substance and policy and issues going forward, but we should not be embracing the former president. We're going to find out exactly how many Republicans hate their own voters this week. I think it's going to be fascinating to watch. From my perspective, I am kind of like that with the Republican Party, to be honest. There was a time before the election where I was seriously thinking about becoming a Republican because I was seriously thinking about running for office. And even up in the last month, I was seriously thinking about running for office. I was like, oh, can I do that as an independent? I don't really want to be a Republican, but Republicans are maybe just I hate the Republicans just slightly less than I hate the Democrats. And I was still seriously thinking about it. But now, man, I don't even care anymore. Where I'm at as someone who is a centrist, as someone who left the Democratic Party because of just how crazy they were acting, now watching the Republican Party, many of its voters, quite frankly, acting just as crazy, and now seeing the establishment Republicans come out and rebuffing their own constituents, I'm kind of like, I want no part of this, man. I have never been a tribalist. I don't want to be forced into the norms of any group. I want to be able to think for myself. I want to be able to say what I want to say, do what I want to do. And I just don't have a whole lot of use for the GOP. God damn it, I will vote third party. I will vote libertarian just to have a vote against this utter nonsense. They hate all of you. I don't know when people are going to wake up and start to realize that the real fight is not right versus left or conservative versus progressive or Democrat versus Republican. That is not what the fight is. The fight is average, everyday, normal people against the establishment. The people in the establishment power that hate you and everything you stand for. The impeachment trial this week is not because they think Donald Trump incited a riot, because anyone with any modicum of sense knows that Donald Trump did not incite a riot. That idea is just plainly stupid. The impeachment trial this week is about sending a message to any future outsider candidate that if you dare come and crash our little establishment party, we will destroy your life in every possible way. That is what this impeachment trial is about. Not even constitutional. Chief Justice of the Supreme Court is not presiding, therefore it is literally not constitutional. But whatever, we're gonna have this show trial anyway, and I think that the most compelling piece of information that's going to come out of it is what the Republicans do. Who votes to convict? Who doesn't vote to convict? We're going to have a lot of information delivered to us in the course of this impeachment trial, and none of it has anything to do with Donald Trump. All right, folks, if you enjoyed this video, I do content almost every single day. Sometimes I take the weekends off, but I really do try to do content every single day during the week. I hope you'll consider subscribing, turning on notifications, leaving a comment if you like what I had to say or think I'm full of it, giving it a thumbs up, all that good stuff. That's all I've got for right this second. I'll see you soon.